Part two, we'll pick up on, I don't see a page number, so we'll pick up where we left off. The next day, Mrs. Peterson arrived in class with a basket full of small glass bottles. Today, she said, we're going to determine your tribes. She gave us each a vial. Tip some of the liquid into your wrist. Smell? Some of you smell like lemons, some like cinnamon, some like almonds. Now, can you smell someone who has the same scent as you? They will be part of your tribe for that year. I sniffed my own wrist. Vanilla. We all strolled around the classroom, smelling each other's wrists. I sniffed a boy's wrist who was wearing a homespun shirt, and he sniffed mine. Vanilla, we both said. My name's Gilbert McDonald. Call me Gibby. Then the two of us fanned out. I found a girl who smelled like vanilla. Girls like you are in looks like you are in my tribe, I chirped. She just smiled but didn't answer me. Gibby came over with um, Gibby came over with Tom. Vanilla, he announced. My bodyguard Jody is too. So Tom, Gibby, Jody, and were in a tribe. I asked the shy girl her name. She wrote it down on a piece of paper. Ravane Sauls. Tom told me later that she hadn't spoken as long as he had known her. From then on, whenever there was a project to be done, Mrs. Peterson had the tribes work together. Ravane never talked, but she was a whiz at math. Gibby had tics and shouted out for no reason sometimes, but his father was a professor of engineering, and Gibby loved to build things. Boy, was he smart. Jody loved reading everything, particularly poetry. He even wrote poems of his own. Tom made all of us laugh. He was so clever. Me, of course, I could draw. So I became the official journal keeper. The borders were filled with my drawings. It wasn't long before Tom, Jody, Gibby, Ravine, and I were best friends. We did almost everything together. Even after school, we visited Jody, who lived out on a farm east of town. His mother decorated cakes, and she was working on the tallest wedding cake I had ever seen. We all helped her. One night, Gibby's dad set up a telescope in his back field and invited the whole class over to look. We could see Saturn with our naked eyes, but with the telescope we could see Saturn's rings. We never did go to Ravane's house. She lived in a foster home, and I don't think she was too happy there. But her foster mother let her paint beautiful designs on silk from an old World War II parachute, which she brought to school to show us. My dad arranged for the whole class to go to a neighbor's farm and have a hayride that took us way off into the fields. Our class was special, all right. The Junkyard kids were pretty amazing to begin with, and Mrs. Peterson showed us how to shine. She even helped us make badges that said the Junkyard Wonders. So you can be proud of who you are, she said. That day we got the badges, this mean boy came running up to us. Weirdos, retards, now you even wear dumbbell pins. A boy named Barton Poole grabbed my pin off my shirt. I started to cry, but then Tom and Gibby ran at Barton and his friends. Right, one of his friends said. Now Twinkle Toes and Duh, the jerking fool, are going to hurt us. We are so scared. Just about then, Jody, big, wonderful Jody, appeared from nowhere. The mean boys sure backed off. Someday you aren't going to have this guy around to guard you, Barton snarled as he stalked away. That day, Mrs. Peterson could see that we were badly shaken. Gibby finally spoke up. Mrs. Peterson, he said, we're all junkyard kids. Even though you try to make us feel better about it, we're throwaways, junk. and everybody knows it. Oh, my dear, that's where you are wrong, she said wistfully. Every one of you is my wonder. Don't you realize what a junkyard really is? A place for things that nobody wants, Jody answered. Oh, it is a place full of wondrous. Oh, it is a place full of wondrous possibilities. What some see as bent and broken throwaways are actually amazing things, waiting to be made into something new, something unexpected, something surprising. We all look puzzled. All right, class, get your coats. We're walking to the Milvin Beach junkyard right now, exclaimed. At the junkyard, Mrs. Peterson stopped us. Now, form into your tribes. Then collect everything that could be made into something new. Remember, Wonders, here's your chance. Forget what the object was. Examine what it could be. Each of the tribes set off across the junkyard collecting wheels, doors, handles, latches. We vanillas hadn't gotten just the right junk though. Until almost the end of our visit, as Jody, Ravian, Tom, and I were climbing over our last pile of assorted junk, Gibby called to us. He was standing under a shed roof looking up. There, hanging from the roof strut, was an old wrecked model airplane. Gib, that's just an old torn up plane, Tom said, turning to leave. No, Gibby said, it's a beauty. I see it. We're going to rebuild it into something bigger, something wonderful, something that will defy gravity itself. This plane is going to fly all the way to the moon. There was such wonder in his eyes that we knew we had just what we needed. For the next few weeks, during the last hour of our class time, we worked on our new inventions. As we hammered and sawed and cut, Mrs. Peterson read to each of us Great Expectations, David Copperfield, and sometimes poetry. But every day, Mrs. Peterson reminded us some people look at things the way they are and cry, why? But I want you to look at things and see what they could be and ask, why not? Gibby was the boss of our plane project. We removed all the outer skin, built a new balsa struts, and repaired a lot of the skeleton. Ravane placed the old skin with her silk. Finally, we painted the rebuilt plane with low resistance lacquer. But would it fly? The day came when we were to present our stupendous projects. The Cinnamon tribe was first. They unveiled a tangled sculpture of hollow tubes. Well, Mrs. Peterson asked the Cinnamons, what is your invention? A vibraphonium, the Cinnamons called out. It took 3 people to play it. Fabulous! The almonds made a hanging wall maze full of levers, fulcrums, and counterweights. When ball bearings were loaded into the top, they cluttered down, bounced, shivered, and jumped as they ran across the maze. Stupendous! When the lemons uncovered their device, none of us could figure out what it was. This is perpetual movement. Dallas Schaefer gave us his invention a shove. It leaned way forward, ringing bells, pulling at springs, and twisting back and forth. We must have watched that thing for 15 minutes. It just did not stop. So perpetual. What's perpetual mean? I want you to tell me that tomorrow. They gave you the definition in the paragraph. When it was the vanilla's turn, Gibby pulled the covering off. But that's just an old airplane. Both Booth Schiffer called out. Wrong, Gibby shouted back. This here airplane is going to defy gravity. This baby is going all the way to the moon. Everyone laughed. Miss Peterson spoke up. If Gilbert says it is destined for the moon, I, for one, believe him. Oh, it will fly all right. We flew it like a kite off of the Putnam's Hill, Jody trumpeted. We had. That was off a hill. For it to fly by itself, though, we had to have a propulsion unit. He means a motor, I added. And we found the perfect one. It will take the plane right into the sky. The trouble is, it's expensive. That's when the tribe stepped in. All of them. Mrs. Peterson asked the whole class if they'd help raise money for the motor. Everyone cheered. It was unanimous that they would. There's another word, unanimous. The prefix uni means one. So unanimous. I'm sorry, back up. Unanimous means everybody together. Uni does mean one, but that's not the prefix of that word. So all of them together decided that they would chip in. And I'm going to stop right there. First of all, I'm over 10 minutes and I want to make sure this is going to upload. Second of all, I think I may have resolved or may have at least figured out our glitching problem and with all the audio. So I'm going to do some test runs yet tonight. And if I figured it out, then I'm not going to finish reading the book and uploading it. I'm going to finish it tomorrow during our class, which was my initial intention anyway. So I'll get this one uploaded and I'll figure that out. If it's still glitching when I do my test run, then I'll go ahead and upload the third one and I'll send out a Remind 101 so that you guys are aware that it's on there.